All right, Facebook fam, whoever's out there, you know the drill. Hashtag live, hashtag replay. We're gonna go over a cool story, and I think this hits home with a lot of people. We were just talking about this right before we hit the stream button, and we'll let Jean introduce herself in just a moment. But it's a cool story going from like around $5,000 ish per month to now between 15 and 20,000 as a freelance web designer from home. And from home means wherever your computer is or laptop is, that's your workplace, right? So it gives you that freedom and flexibility. So we're gonna kind of walk through because I know being stuck is probably the worst feeling in the world, especially when yesterday is going to be no better than today or tomorrow unless you do something about it. So we're going to walk through that journey of what Gene did about it so you guys can probably be impacted too. But first, we're going to need some heart smashing going on. So smash the like, smash the heart, hashtag Jean. Give her some love, Jean. We want her to get the love and the energy so she can really be bribed to spill the beans on a little bit more stuff than she probably should, right? So that'll give us the energy here. So, Jean, why don't you kind of give an introduction of yourself so people know who you are and what you do?
Jean Costel. My background's graphic design, web design, and I've been in my own business now for about 10 to 15 years. Prior to that, I was at an ad agency for many, many years. So I kind of came into this with more of the agency background. And when I started, the idea, I work with so many different clients, and GSD was very much trying to help me refocus that. So I did. That was an eye opener for me, just coming from that side of
So
the
you
world.
worked for an agency. When did you start your company?
About 15 years ago, but I really, with kids and stuff, I kind of started to focus more in the past 7 years, I'd say.
Good.
And
Okay. So you've been running it for a little while now, huh?
yes.
That's a long time. Okay, cool. No, all right. So that's cool that you had the background. So when you quit your job, like going into, because I know there's going to be people out there listening that have jobs right now and they want to take the leap of faith and do their own thing. What went through your mind when you decided, hey, I'm just going to do this on my own?
Um, well, when I was doing it for family reasons too,
Hmm.
because just I had a lot going on with my son and my
Hmm.
daughter. So um, I was nervous to quit. I mean, I knew I wasn't going to have close to the salary that I was making, but I was like, I've got it, something's got to give. So I'm like, well, I could still, you know, do this part time and then the family stuff the other part time. So, but I was nervous to let go of that salary because it was a decent salary, and to jump in and now just it's basically whatever I can find and hustle and try to, kind of go back into my networking groups and try to start building the business. And I started out slow, just with, just a couple of clients here and there. I did stuff for the agency um, too, so that kind of helped things along the way. But it's scary jumping and going on your own, and um, it's like me, myself, and I. Like, it's like
Yeah,
okay,
I mean,
here we go.
entrepreneurship is certainly a lonely planet, right? But it doesn't necessarily have to be, right? That's why with communities and Facebook groups and local networking events, I mean, it's always nice to have that, not just like the networking opportunity to get business, but the network opportunity to level up together, right? Because then you kind of feel heard. Because sometimes like our own friends, our family members, like my mom, my dad, my sister, they don't do what I do. They don't understand. They probably think I'm playing video games up here after all these years, right? So I mean, it is a lonely planet. So it is kind of nice to be able to combine forces, have the same kind of visions and alignment to help each other grow. So that's been kind of cool with what we've got going on with Jean and being able to work with her on this journey. But I want to fast forward from like now we got the startup phase. There is the scary fear factor, but again, like Jean mentioned, she had family circumstances, but also a lifestyle choice that you have to make. It's either suit and tie up or whatever you wear, go in, clock out, go home, and then do it the rest of your life. Or you can always have another option where you can part-time hustle it. You can go all in. You could burn the bridges to take or burn the boats to take the island, right? Now, when you went from we're starting with us in around 5,000 and jumping it up to like 15, $20,000 months, what were some of those practical changes that shifted, allowing you to get that big of a jump?
It was based to refocus on where I was going, and instead of just, you know, taking what you can get, like actually you're actually, going towards something. And the focus of looking at certain clients compared to other ones, it was a huge shift. Because I've always, with that agency background, we always worked with so many different clients that's kind of, I just thought that that's what everybody did. Um, and because everyone I knew, they worked at some sort of agency at some point, and that was their focus. And coming in here and shifting and really trying to like narrow down your focus and you know just that was the huge part. I would say just the refocusing instead of taking what you can get, like realize what you do want. And just even going through that practice of what's your why, like why are you doing this, and kind of going through that was, even that was eye opening, and I've been doing it a long time. So it's like I thought it was like everything was, I was doing okay, right? But you don't know what you don't know until you do. And all those are eye openers then. You're like, here's my reason. This is what I'm going to do. This is, you know, this is what I need for my family. And even going through that, that was like one of the first practices out of the homework that came from GSD, was just
Right.
even
I
going
mean, the
through that
alignment is
process.
so important. Yeah. Because I mean, when a lot of people are going into business and they're come one, come all, and then they can try to serve the world, when in reality, you're talking to nobody. And that's a really heavy emphasis. And it's never too late to make that belief shift because the sooner you can do it, where you narrow in, zone in, know your ideal customer, your ideal industry, what you're really good at and skillful at, and what you're also really bad at, and say no to those things. That's when you're going to kind of have a little bit more success when you have that focus because now you gotta have a game you play. It's almost like an athlete, they could probably play badminton, ping pong, and tennis and soccer and all these different things. They're never gonna be good at it all. But when you kind of commit to one thing, one sport, one thing in business, like Gene has with doing fantastic web design, right? So if anybody needs a website on WordPress and you're her ideal customer, hit her up. Her design work is phenomenal. I've seen like her PowerPoint decks. I'm like, holy shit, I wish I had a Gene on my team. So design skills are extremely amazing. But yeah, that's so important to know your own identity so other people know your identity too.
Yes. Yeah, it was that, to me, that was still a huge shift. I know it sounds simple, but it really made a difference. And just the ability to really figure out what direction you should be going and the type of clients you do want to work with, um, is, in the upsell. I mean, there was that's probably been one of the bigger shifts, I'd say, is I'm upselling a lot more to my current clients. And that's listening to you guys as far as how to communicate with your clients and how do you look for other things you could be helping them with, opposed to just going in and doing the project and getting out. Um, so that's been a huge thing, is just even learning more about each client and seeing where you can help them.
Right. And with your business, I mean, you have like a great business. Like, do you have another goal that you want to reach, whether it's like personal with like free time or perhaps even monetary or maybe a combo of both?
I'd say it's both. I would like more free time. When we jumped down here, I was telling Cody, he's like, "What have you been up to?" I'm like, "I just been working. It's been a lot of work."
Hmm.
Um, Between that and family, it's been, I've been crazy busy, I guess. So I would like a little more free time for myself. Like my favorite thing is like I'll go in the basement. I have a studio down there and I'll paint and draw. And I really enjoy that. And I enjoy working out and stuff. And I really haven't had a lot of time to do all that. So
Hmm.
even just that alone would be helpful. Just to enjoy the other aspects of my life besides working.
Yeah.
And I would like to obviously make, more money, and have a little bit more things on where it's it's consistent, and it's consistently growing. And it's not like I need millions of dollars or anything, but I definitely would like it where I could feel more comfortable, where you're not in debt, where
Hmm.
you're gonna have it have this ongoing for your kids, you know. I have two
100%. I mean,
kids,
like
and you
making
want
the
that.
jump. No, that's 100% accurate. Like making more money can buy some free time because then the delegation matrix kicks in. Like delegating, getting team ownership, making sure the communication is really good. So you're not doing their work for them and delegating it or micromanaging it or fearful they'll fuck it all up and you have to also do it all. Right. So it's kind of like that delegation metric matrix kicks in where you can find the right people and like you and Cody were talking about before is getting the right people on the bus. But I mean you got to let's take a step back for a second because like we got to give some snaps for Gene right now because like going from $5,000, which is really $60,000, right, a year. Probably not the income that she was probably making at an ad agency, but adding another, if we're at the 20,000 number, another $15,000 a month, I mean, that's 180,000. And if it's $10,000 extra a month because you have that range of between 15 and 20, I mean, that's an extra $120,000 a year. So I mean, that's a pretty big jump because there's a lot of people in this audience that probably has never even seen six figures ever in their lives, right? But it's in sight, but it takes a decision to make. Like, how are you going to get there? Who's going to be on your bus to lead you to that promised land, right? Because it's going to be baby steps, incremental steps. Business is a series of tiny steps done well, done right in the right order. Skipping the order, you're not taking a shortcut. It's like if you try to skip a stair on a staircase, you may slip, fall, break your shin, right? And that's what's going to happen in business. You may get lucky once or twice, but it's coming if you don't build that foundation properly from the start. And that's what we like to do is unlearn the stuff people have learned and then kind of really do almost like a home renovation. Let's do a little demolishment and then we're going to restructure and build something prettier and more fun, right?
Definitely. Yeah, that
Yeah.
foundation is huge because otherwise, you can't build a house on two pits.
Yeah, and it also gives you a
Same
little
thing.
bit bulletproofness in the long game because then you could rebuild. Like you can rebuild a whole different business in a whole different industry. You can rebuild another agency. If shit hits the fan and the economy, your infrastructure will withstand the test of time.
Definitely. Yeah, and in future, like I really would like to productize more of my stuff just to I that'll help, I think, churn things and help grow.
Yeah, you tell me when you want to productize because then you got to take your custom stuff and template it and then you'll have two different avatars. So you'll just have to learn the balancing act of reading who you're talking to. If it's somebody brand new or with less capacity to spend, they're the template side. So you flip them on the pre-made WordPress templates. And if they're more custom and unique, like a home developer or a contractor that you work with, then they can afford something unique to them and their identity for their brand, you know? So it's just that first awareness step. If you want to go down that path, we're happy to help help create that for you because that's what we've done already for us and a lot of other people too.
Definitely, because there's a lot of people I talk to who they can't afford what what you're selling basically,
Hmm.
and um, I need that another offer where it is cheaper, and
Or
that's kind
or
of
just to cut you off, like or don't serve that market and stay in the higher end market. So there's choices, right?
right.
If you want to go down that path, you get to choose it. If you're trying to kind of jam something into that audience, then I would argue to say don't do it if you don't like that audience. Because there's a couple things. Number one, can you make money? Can you deliver a good product? Can they be happy? And then two, is there a future with these types of people in that audience to ascend up into a higher ticket offer, whether it's marketing, branding, et cetera, where they have the capacity to spend more? Or if they don't, could they be a referral source to get you two or three clients? Because then it becomes worth it. So we kind of got to strategically think through that lower end marketplace. We have to think those steps of the future. Otherwise, we're turn and burn in sales. You know, it's like money in and then next client, money in, next client, because you have to have a little bit higher of a volume in that lower end market because they may still have the same demands as a custom project, you know?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of projects they do have the same demand, I'd say, whether it's
Yeah.
a small project to a large website compared there's a the demand you still have to go through the same process,
Yeah, exactly.
it's like you still have to go through everything. You have to go through the discovery process. You got to go through each step, the design phase, the content phase, the
Totally.
development
Yeah.
pay.
So maybe I
So
talked you out of it for a little bit.
you did right there. Yeah.
But so
Yeah,
like
it'd be
how
nice
do
to help
you
people grow though,
yeah, yeah, no,
as
I understand the
it's
intention. Like I love the airplane analogy where it's like put your mask on yourself first, take care of you first. Then we can start to help as many people as we want to. So we can always go to help the Fortune 5 million that have the tiny budgets. But that's kind of what GoDaddy's for, right? I'd almost rather you just stay in your custom range because then you can have a $10,000, $20,000 project versus 10 of those little guys with 10 headaches, you know? But we can
right.
always go through those reps. But like take a step back real quick. How did you find out about us? Like where did you read
You
about us
know,
or click on
it,
us or
I I think it was I filled out some sort of form or something, I think on Facebook, and I ended up speaking to Jason
yep.
several times. Um, I kept on putting him off and putting him off, and finally I talked to him a little bit longer, and I was like, well, yeah, I'm kind of very much I was in that stuck. I was just really stuck in one spot. Um, and I'm very ADD, so I'm always like, it's like a shiny object, and you're kind of all over the place. And we talked actually quite a bit about that. And then I got into a call with Raul, and
Hmm.
that was you know, that was a little bit more exciting. It was a little bit more enlightening as far as what possibilities there would be. So it took me probably a few months probably before I jumped in,
Hmm.
but um, but when I did, and I mean I was excited and happy I did, and I mean I've been in it now for a year,
Hmm.
so so I'm enjoying it. Sticking with it.
Yeah,
So
totally. Now let's just say you like you said you started your business 15 years ago. Let's just say we met 15 years ago and we started. Where do you think things would be now?
I think I would be much more advanced. I think beyond where I'm at now, even. I think I would have productized my offers,
Hmm.
um, and think of the amount of things that have changed in the past 10 years. I mean,
Hmm.
online, it's been a huge difference. So I think the growth would have been quick, much kind of pretty much faster, I'd say, if I was really focused from the very beginning in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean it's hard for people to buy advice because there's always hesitation and procrastination and what if it doesn't work? Instead of considering the real reason of what they're looking for, what I feel, and you guys tell me in the audience if you're on board with this, if you sell coaching or bot coaching, like you try to find it yourself, but then you're the one that caused the problem. So maybe it's not the best person to cause the solution, right? So, like I know that I've made those decisions in the past, and those are kind of regretful because, like asking you that question about if you did this 15 years ago, you'd obviously clearly be further ahead. So then why do we make those decisions, right? Why do we delay something that we know we wanted that we could have been ahead on when we could have got a shortcut instead of doing it the bravado way alone, right? That's why Allen Iverson never won a championship. He did it alone. Didn't know the unity of community all that well in the NBA. But that's kind of what I feel a lot of people do is like they don't understand that coaching has impacts and quick moves and faster moves when somebody already has the answer but has seen that situation about 1,000 times.
Right. And it's hard in the beginning, you're like, you don't want to pay, it's expensive, it gets expensive, and that's what you're thinking of. But if you really think about the ROI, really in the end,
Yeah.
it comes around.
Oh,
And
it certainly
it's
does. Yeah.
the, and again, like you kind of think you don't need coaching, you think you're gonna, you're moving ahead okay. But really, once you start working with a mentor, it makes a huge difference.
So
Um,
I
yeah,
remember, yeah, I remember like when you said web design, like I just kind of like I think I might have even giggled because then I just shared a whole folder with you of QA documents, website processes, lead magnet, like all that kind of stuff. So it's like gives people like a real true head start, not some just words of wisdom or advice. It's like tangible assets that can be leveraged that don't exist that should have existed called SOPs a long, long time ago. Because I'm a big fan of Marcus Lemonis from The Prophet, and he always talks about people, product, and what's the last P?
Profit?
Process. Yeah, people, product, and process. But yeah, profit is the whole outcome we're looking for. But I feel like a lot of people have maybe good people. I don't know. That's kind of iffy with the right training. They can be good. They have a good product because people have bought it in the past. But then it's unscalable because the process is really, really janky. And that's why, like, how can you handle more clients with the same infrastructure of talent? But then it comes into the process, right? Because like when we were doing a lot of web design, we had two people that had literally just gone to a local college for web design. I knew the professor really well, and I don't really care if people go to college or not, but these guys had a really good training program, and he would just feed me over WordPress developers, and these guys were handling like I don't know, 60 to $70,000 worth of projects per month and over multiple accounts, and they were just two fresh graduate college students, right? Because we enabled a good process and infrastructure, how to talk to clients, how to be efficient, how to log your time logs, how to follow a step-by-step checklist, how to use reusable assets for custom work, and start thinking into the future versus thinking what's right in front of your nose. So it really kind of opened not only our profits up wildly more. It gave us the same turnaround times. But then the people that learned from us, all these young people, they turned out to go on and leave the company and become their own entrepreneurs. So now they know the infrastructure, so they can repeat the systems. They know how to manage more people. So they learn a lot. So it's kind of nice when somebody leaves me. Not that I want them to, but it's nice when they leave and you leave on good terms, but then they go do something really cool, right? You see that and they don't fail. They don't go get another job. They just like do their own thing from wherever the heck it is they want. It's always kind of nice because we've had some cool people go into some really cool roles for themselves and build some really banging companies too.
Yeah.
But
And that
okay,
whole process, you really didn't, you don't really realize how much you're missing the process until
sure.
you really start working with the process, I would
Yeah,
say.
like what are some of the things you've done to improve your process? Like just to help the audience out here so they understand what it takes.
I go through the same process for each client for whether it was a large, client for like huge project or something smaller. And I'll continue to go through, it's like I go through the discovery process with every client. Some it's really quick to get through it, and others, if they're a little bit more involved, they will definitely take a little longer. But that process has helped quite a bit. And now the people I'm working with, they have that same process as far as, hey, these are the things we're going through first. And from there, these are the steps.
Hmm.
And this is what we're going to follow. And this is how we're going to achieve our goal, basically. So it's now passing my process that I've been working on to other people that I can work with and trust that they're going to be able to do the same job that I can do. That's really helpful because it's hard when you're trying to do it all yourself. And the process of just from the beginning of the project to project completion, sign off, done. It's helped a lot. And I always thought I had a process on my own, but it was not as detailed as it is now.
Yeah, yeah, and and when the process is in your head, then you can't delegate. It's really difficult. So yeah, documentation is the key to having that recipe for like web design or SEO or any product you guys are offering out there, and being able to repeat it and just being prepared not only to have your own checklist so you don't miss anything, but also just keeping in mind that you will be successful and you will need to scale and you will want to follow the same quality of work. It's just really important to have those processes in place. Otherwise, the agency world will kind of just be on stilts and it'll be predominantly on luck. But if you systematize, you're going to be in a really good position to make whatever it is you want. You really don't create a limit. I mean, you can make six figures, even seven figures, and keep super lean like we are. We're a really lean company, and we do a lot of things. But since we're process driven, it allows us to get like 10 times more than another person in a day. Um, so it's kind of nice to be able to accomplish things that way. Um,
It
but
also
like, thanks
helps
for
with
coming on here
confidence.
too. I always appreciate your time. And like, because we're like with the GSD and the inner circle program that you're in right now, it is group coaching. Like, how has been in the group benefited? Because I get the question a lot, like, oh, it's group. Do I get one-on-one? The answer is yes. We do one-on-one with every single person. But like, how has the group specifically benefited you as opposed to one-on-one? Just hearing everybody else.
Just, yeah, hearing everybody else and then also connecting with them, outside of the group. There's the chat that everyone can be on and ask questions, and um you partner up with some of these people. It's been great meeting people, because again, you feel like you said, it's a sometimes it can be a lonely job. It can feel like you're working on your own, but by with this group, I feel like you can go and ask any one of almost everyone I've connected with. You can ask them a question and you guys can bounce ideas off each other and stuff. You don't, it's not always what's happening during the coaching time. It's the, one-on-ones that have happened offline.
Yeah, yeah. I
That's been
mean,
very
the
helpful.
network becomes pretty valuable. I love being when I'm in programs. I always network with everybody. Like you, I text them, keep in touch with them, even from programs I was in like 10 years ago. We became good friends, do business together. So like the long-term lasting impact of investing into a business with the right infrastructure and coaching has like decades of revenue potential. I mean, 'cause there's people that I've met that are like, we've done over six figures. Had I not spent the 30K or 20K or whatever with that coach, I would have never been in that room with other people that I could do business with. If I cold called them, DM'd them, emailed them, threw an ad at them, I may or may not get them, or at least they certainly won't have that intimacy of trust with me. But when we are in the room, learning together, doing together, scaling at like independent businesses together, we see each other. And then the iron sharpens iron, and then successful people are attracted to other successful people. And then it kind of turns into business too.
Definitely. Yeah. And that you build that trust, and it's great.
Yeah. Now, in ending, like we're coming up on time here. So if you guys can drop some shout outs here, hashtag Gene, smash the heart, the like button out there, while you guys are watching this, and whoever's on the replay, hashtag live, hashtag replay. Um, like let's say you didn't join the GSD when you did. Like, how do you think things would be now for you?
Um, I probably would have been just kind of still going along the same as I was. Just maybe not focusing on the right clients, and um, I still might have not been jumping on and trying to be more proactive within my business and reactive.
Yeah, no, I love it. Yeah, because those small little hinges can swing open big, huge doors. And I mean, before we went on, you were talking about like the growth of where you are compared to other people. Like you've grown a lot, not just monetarily. That's always the easy number to highlight, but just individually, it's like it goes out into other parts of life, like being a better wife, whatever, a mother, even like confidence, right? It just kind of
Confidence
changes a
is,
little. Yeah,
yeah,
confidence, because I can hear it in your voice, like especially with new students to like 3 4 months down the road, you can just hear their voice, and their questions are more intelligent in the sense of they're advanced. Not intel Every question's intelligent at the time, but they're getting more and more advanced because I can see your progress during our calls. So it's incredible to see. So I wanted to give you a shout out for that.
definitely. Thanks. It's good.
Yeah, cool. So if anybody's out there that like, let's just say somebody who's on the fence and their partner is kind of iffy on it, that hey, if you invest into this, you may not make your money back, or they've just been kind of delaying or procrastinating and trying to figure out itself, or really good at YouTube searching but still not where they want to be. Like, what would you tell that person about the GSD?
Tell them to just jump in and actually try to, once you start focusing in the right direction, it'll make a world of difference. And um, don't worry about like recouping your money, because it's as soon as you get a few projects, you could recoup your money from the initial investment. Just so you could get one, or you can get one project that can actually do it, or a couple projects, but um, it just made a world of difference in the ability to upsell and communicate with some clients, and it's made a big difference in my life. So I appreciate that.
Awesome. Well, Gene, thank you for sharing your story with our community, and we're always grateful to have you inside the inner circle and continue to work with you. And I know we have in 50 minutes we have our call coming up too, so we're gonna have a lot of seeing each other today. So everybody, give some love out to Gene. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. I'm sure you're gonna inspire a lot of people that are gonna watch this. We're gonna make sure we distribute it so other people can see it. And if you do have WordPress projects and could people reach out to you?
Definitely.
Okay, cool. Yeah, she does
Definitely.
fantastic work. I've seen the projects, like her articulation, just the designs she's done are like you can see the difference. Kind of like when you go to Costco and if you saw a Vizio TV alone, you'd be like, "Oh, wow, that's cool for that price." But then when you see a Vizio next to like a Sony, you're like, "Whoa, the Sony is just cleaner." That's how you're gonna feel like Gene's projects are, is that Sony version, right? Because it just has that difference, and that's kind of that first impression that we like to build on the first like click when people see like websites or first meeting on the internet, is that difference maker because it stands above if you spend a little bit more on that quality of the product. Anyways, again, thanks, Gene.
Definitely.
And
Thank you.
you stay on for a second, and I'm going to stop the stream and then bye everybody. And if you guys need help out there in GSD land over on the Facebook groups or wherever you're seeing this, just drop a comment like hashtag GSD or be proactive. You can DM me, you can DM Imad, and you can talk to anybody on our team. They'll be happy to give you the information, walk through your problems, your pains, your concerns, whatever it is that you're feeling. And we have a lot of free resources we can just redirect you to if for whatever reason it's not a good fit. But I'm sure there's something we can do together. All right, bye everybody.